Hello everyone, welcome to today's Novedge webinar. CAD Exchanger is an easy-to-use toolset to view, convert, and share 3D CAD data. Patented parallel technologies ensure superb performance even on heavyweight assemblies, while intuitive interface enables quick start without any training required. During the webinar, we will discuss how CAD Exchanger helps over 150,000 engineers to build sectioning and exploded views and share data online. Super exciting. Today's presenter, Ramil Gasanov, joined CAD Exchanger team shortly after its foundation and followed the evolution of the product since the early days. Now he leads sales and marketing in CAD Exchanger. And now let me tell you a little bit about Novedge, and this is where you can find CAD Exchanger on our catalog. It's very easy to search. You'll find CAD Exchanger in all its different manifestations. Novedge is changing the way designers purchase 3D software, offering more choices, more freedom, best advice, and faster service. Check us out at novedge.com. We also have a great promotion now on CAD workstations that have the highest performance ever for people working with CAD. And sorry, I went ahead of myself. And now, without further ado, I will share Ramil's screen so he can take you through CAD Exchanger. Okay.
Hello, Barbara. Thank you. And everyone who joined us for the webinar, can you hear me? Can you hear me well?
We can hear you perfectly.
Great. So my name is Ramil. I lead sales and marketing in CAD Exchanger. And today they're going to consider a simplified production workflow in which we are going to manufacture a certain part of the huge assembly with the help of external supplier. We will take an assembly, extract a single part, convert it to several mesh representations in order to share it with our supplier with the help of CAD Exchanger products. But before we begin, CAD Exchanger is a set of products for visualization and conversion of 3D CAD data, and it's used by mechanical engineers, product designers, and also suitable for people in sales and marketing, procurement, quality assurance, or any other specialists who don't need access to expensive and excessive CAD software, but still deal with 3D CAD data. What we're seeing here is a set of currently available file formats in CAD Exchanger. And the thing is, CAD Exchanger can communicate with key industry software packages like Creo, SolidWorks, NX, and supports file formats like Parasolid, Step, ACES, and mesh file formats like STL, OBJ, GLTF, FBX, and so on and so forth. Typically, our customers highlight the following benefits of CAD Exchanger. First of all, its performance, thanks to patented parallel computations that Barbara mentioned. Second is ability to communicate with a huge variety of different CAD systems. And finally, it's ease of use because no training is required to begin working with the CAD Exchanger. So let's begin and import a fairly huge step assembly in CAD Exchanger. So while the assembly is loading, let me tell you that I'm working from my office laptop, which is a Core i5 integrated video card, 8 gigs of RAM. So this is a typical setup that any other office worker would have. And still, CAD Exchanger is able to load a huge assemblies and load the data on the fly. And I can already operate some simple, zoom pan and rotate operations. And let's begin in product structure. And while it's loading, we can see that this file has fairly rich product structure with, and now it's loaded fully, fairly rich product structure with lots of assemblies, sub-assemblies, and parts. And To identify the part you need to manufacture, it would be challenging to scroll through all those parts. So let's use the search and type ISO at 4762. And now we can see all the parts with the name highlighted in the product structure. And let's isolate this one and show only it. And we can see how the whole assembly became semi-transparent, and just a tiny belt here is visible now. And we can go to the properties. So here we can see different properties of these parts. We can see its name, its type. It could be part, sub-assembly, or assembly. We can see its color and update it on the fly. We can change the opacity and switch a bounding box on and off again. And below we can see the dimensions of this bounding box. And we can switch between units up here from millimeters to centimeters and any other units that we would need for our particular project. Below we can see the validation properties like volume, surface area, center of mass, and finally the number of triangles. What we see here is a custom property that sometimes may appear in the files that we receive. CAD systems like SolidWorks may write some custom user-generated properties like the name of the author or the status of approval or any
Ramil,
Sorry?
your audio was interrupted for a few seconds, so if you don't mind going back a few seconds and.
Oh, sorry. So I was telling regarding the custom properties and other properties that CAD Exchanger can demonstrate here. And PMI, which is a product and manufacturing information, unfortunately, our assembly do not have any PMI, so there is nothing here. So let's go back and show our whole assembly and begin with the view options. Here, let's close this panel for now. So in view options, we have different representations of the model. We can switch between wireframe representations, shading, or shading with boundaries. We can also switch between the display and show the model in perspective or the isometric view. Let's say in the isometric view for this presentation. So let's go to the CAD section, and here we can add up to 3 section planes. And if we reverse the plane, we will see how the plane grades the section view. And CAD Exchanger supports up to 3 of them, so let's add another one. And now we see just a quarter of the model. And we can drag between these, and we'll see how the plane goes nice and smooth on the 3D view. Let's delete the sectioning planes for now and go to the explode. Here we can drag here we can drag it, and we will see how the model literally explodes in our 3D view. It's a visually stunning feature which allows to understand the relations between different parts in the assembly, and yeah, here it is. So let's delete it for now and go to the measurements. CAD Exchanger allows to perform different measurement operations, and first of all, it allows to get the coordinates of the certain vertex. Here, if we select a vertex, we'll see its coordinates, and once again we can switch between different units and select the units of our interest. We can also measure the length of the edge or the wires. Let's take this edge. for better view, here is an edge highlighted, and here is it in the measurements plane. We can save it and go to a wire and measure the same wire here, and we can save it for the future. Let's proceed to the distances, which is a linear measurement which allows to measure the distances between the faces, vertices, edges, or solids. For these presentations, like let's measure distance from this face to this face, and now we see it's represented in the 3D view and in the measurement plane. We can save it, and we can switch it on and off again if we need to. Please keep in mind that CAD Exchanger do not update the geometry itself, so if we export a file, the measurements won't be saved. So it lives just in this particular session. CAD Exchanger also allows you to make circular measurements and measure the radius of their circular planes, for example. And here it is, and also the diameter. Okay, let's take this one. Okay, and let's save it, and as always, we can switch on and off again. Finally, we can make an angular measurement and measure the angle between two planar faces or three vertices. Let's select this plane and this plane, and now we see 90 degrees, nice and clean. And finally, we can update the size of all the measurements that we made here, and we can make it bigger or smaller, and this would be interesting for different models. So now let's delete all the measurements that we have made. We don't really need them for now. And let's, oh, there's another one. Okay. So for this webinar, we will take a part, which is ISO 4762. Let's focus on it. Let's disable the ghost views. And now we have just a single part on our 3D scene. And for our 3D printing supplier, we can provide this part in different representations. So let's go to this and switch to polygonal representation. And now we can see almost 20,000 triangles here. And let's try to make these parts a little bit more precise. Let's switch to the measure and go to options. There are lots of different options, but for simplicity, let's just take the mesh granularity and select very fine. You can also make it worse or moderate, or for this webinar, let's make it very fine. And add representation. And now CAD Exchanger will compute a new mesh on the fly for this particular object. And now we can see this very granular mesh, nice and clean, which is suitable for KE or simulations. And now let's export this part. CAD Exchanger will export just the part that is displayed on the 3D view, so not all the whole assembly will be exported, or just a single part of it. So let's export on the desktop and save it. And now we can see it on our desktop. What I will do now is I will go to our CAD Exchanger Cloud, which is an online tool. CAD Exchanger Cloud provides pretty much the same functionality as CAD Exchanger GUI, but with a focus on online collaboration. I have uploaded these files earlier, and let's go to it and see how it's represented here. So, as I said, CAD Exchanger Cloud is pretty much the same as CAD Exchanger GUI, but with additional collaboration opportunities. For example, I can add a note in just a single click. Hello, and enter. And there was another note here, hello John, this is my file. They will go to it later. And CAD Exchanger will represent, will say the camera option and go to the camera to represent the original state of the camera while the node was left. So the beauty of CAD Exchanger Cloud is ability to securely collaborate online. So let's try to share and go to a protected access. Here we can type in the email of our manufacturer, for example, john@mymanufacturer.com, and add the message, hello. And obvious that John would need to download the file, so we would need to enable the downloads. John might want to leave a comment on our model, so we will allow him to make a comment. And we don't really want John to reshare the model or upload new revisions of a file, so we'll let them unmarked. But for the simplicity of this, let's just make it public. And if we make it public, everyone with a link will be able to access the file if they want to. So I will now copy this link and try to share it with the attendees. And here, one moment, please. You might see it now. So here it is. Now John and our manufacturer would be able to access the file, download it in STL file format, and produce it for our needs. And CAD Exchanger team is happy to provide you with the tools to do that. So any questions would be welcomed. Please go on.
Yeah, let us know. There's a question tab in the control panel. Feel free to type your questions there. There's no question yet.
Okay, Barbara, I'm not sure if the link was available for.
Let me do it again. I think I'll send it again. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. So by proceeding with the link, you won't be prompted with the registration. So you just open the browser and see the file. And in public version, you won't be able to download it due to security reasons. But in the private access, you may enable the download, as we could see earlier.
We actually have a question, Ramil. Will the software generate the 2D instantly?
CAD Exchanger is focused on the 3D data, so we do not work with the 2D file formats like DWG, for example, or any other draft formats.
Okay, hope that helped. That was it for questions. Let us know if you were able to get the link. Okay, there's no questions, so let's carry on and then let's see if we'll have feedback later. Ramil, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to ask our audience?
Well, not at this moment.
Okay.
I would expect audience to ask any questions if there are any.
No.
Still, we will be happy to hear your feedback, and please feel free to visit cloud.cadexchanger.com to take a look at our web service and cadexchanger.com to see our products of CAD Exchanger, and definitely Novedge.com as a host of this particular webinar.
Okay, so we have a question. If we use AutoCAD or Autodesk, will be exchanged to CAD Exchange?
There are several file formats that are close to Autodesk products. It's ACES in particular. So if you could export ACES file format from Autodesk Inventor, for example, we could import it in CAD Exchanger and perform very same operations that I just showed.
Cool.
So yes.
Cool. Okay. I hope that answered your questions. And all right.
I can see your screen, Barbara, and yeah, it's a Novedge website.
Okay, sorry, my microphone was mute. I took the screen again because I want to show, if we're done and there's no more questions, I want to show everybody where they can get CAD Exchanger. And it's, it's very impressive from what I've been able to see today. So give us a call if you need more information. You can always reach Novedge. We have a phone number on every page, and we're always at your disposal. And I want to thank Ramil today for his availability and for showing us pretty amazing stuff. The tool seems, first of all, beautiful to look at, and those exploded view, oh my God. Thank you so much for your precious time, considering that you're all the way across the Atlantic and another continent. And wait, let me see that we might have another question. What's the relation between AutoCAD, CAD Exchanger? Is it available on the market, CAD Exchanger? Of course. Yeah, as I'm showing everybody, CAD Exchanger is available. You can find it on Novedge for if you're purchasing from the US. And yeah, it's there for you to test and try and enjoy. Anything else you would like to share, Ramil?
Well, yeah, actually, we have just released a fresh version of CAD Exchanger 381. So everyone are welcome to give it a try.
Yeah, and CAD Exchanger can be purchased online. It's very easy. You can just visit novedge.com and search for it. It will be a seamless interaction. And thanks again for joining us today. I wish everybody a good rest of the day or the night, depending on your geolocation. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye bye. Thank you, Barbara. It was a pleasure.
Bye.